Be real with yourself for a second. Even though you're sitting here watching this video, you know you got a list of things to do at home. You know that you want to be more intentional with your time. You know you got hella clothes sitting in the dryer that you need to fold, but you haven't started yet because you're just trying to figure out how the heck all these people you see online are able to get everything done. Because despite what they say, let's be honest, we don't all have the same 24 hours in a day. Some people got kids, some people take care of their parents, some people have more than one job. So having someone say,
"You're not doing enough," or "You need to follow Kendall Jenner's morning routine in order to be productive,"
it's just not realistic. So how then do we get to the point where you can complete any task? If you're new here, my name is Iralis, and I'm here to share with you guys my self-development journey and what that actually looks like. Not like the trendy, sugar-coated Pinterest version, so that way you can be more prepared for your own growth journey and just be super intentional about your life. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button because you know you've been wanting to be a better version of yourself, and then let's just get into it. When we usually hear about productivity and like how to be better, the standard like how to is that you have to be super productive and super disciplined in order to like get things done. But if being disciplined is new to you or something that doesn't come naturally to you, then how do you even get to that point? You might even be telling yourself that all you gotta do to get things done is just to keep working for another 4 hours because sometimes you just gotta like power through a little bit. But you actually just end up like exhausting yourself and burning out. And so then you don't do anything for the next 5 days because you need some time to recover. Or you might hear that you need to follow the morning routine of some super successful person like Kendall Jenner or Jeff Bezos, and that once you do that, you're magically gonna have all the answers that you need in order to be successful. And all these things sound good in theory, but they're super hit or miss because different people need different things. Because if we're being honest, the truth is that nobody's like disciplined or productive all the time. It might come inherently to some people, but I promise you it doesn't to everybody. There's actually so many of us who have to work at being disciplined and like grow into that because it just doesn't come naturally. Aside from that, Kendall Jenner's morning routine is probably not gonna work for you. Why? Because you're not Kendall Jenner, babe. You could definitely try it out, but odds are that there's gonna be certain aspects of it that you don't really like that much. But you convinced yourself that this is the kind of routine that you're supposed to do and you're supposed to enjoy, and then when you don't, you feel like crap about yourself or you think something's wrong with you. And don't even get me started on this whole, let me just keep pushing myself and going for another 4 to 5 hours. Because if you're pushing yourself to do something when you really need a break, all you're doing is like delaying that rest that your body needs and making it worse. If your body's asking you for rest and you just force it to keep going, all you're doing is making whatever task you're working at harder, and you're just gonna end up feeling fatigued. And your mind and your body are gonna remember that fatigue, and what's gonna happen is that you're gonna find yourself avoiding doing something because you don't wanna feel that way again. So if all these tips we've heard before are kind of trash, what is some actual like advice and some tips that we can use? First things first, you're gonna have to figure out what kind of like approach and environment works best for you. What does that mean? Well, it means you're gonna have to go through trial and error, babe. It means you gotta pick like some kind of approach and then pay attention to see if it fuels you, if it drains you, or if it just doesn't do anything at all. You have to create a system for yourself that's gonna help you be productive. Literally like the whole definition and point of setting yourself up for success. Think about it like this. Y'all tell me why I stopped recording because they are picking up trash in my alleyway, and I literally waited like 20 minutes and they were done. But now as soon as I turn the camera back on, they're back. Can y'all hear that? How rude. Think about it like this. If you have a final coming up for your course and you're trying to study, but everybody in your hall is like partying around you, it's gonna make it extremely difficult to actually get any studying done. Yes, because of the noise, but also just because of like the temptation to go have fun with everybody else instead of sitting in your room alone. But if you went and moved to the library instead, it'd probably be like way easier to focus and to study to make sure that you could pass the test. So if you don't create an environment for yourself that actually allows you to focus, it's gonna be impossible to get anything done and actually see any progress. And so this is where the trial and error comes in. For example, you might have to try implementing some kind of like alone time in your routine. I used to share a home office with my boyfriend, and I realized after a while that like that doesn't really work for me because when he was around, I would just want to like talk to him and like cut up and hang out. And so clearly that just wasn't an environment where I could be like focused and pay attention to the things I had to do because I was just super distracted all the time. If you're home a lot of the time and you find that when you're at home, you kind of just want to chill and just fall into that zone of just being comfy, try going to a different setting and see if that helps you focus more on like working or editing or studying. Basically, try like a library or a bookstore or a coffee shop and see if you getting out of your house essentially allows you to get out of that chill mode. If you're someone who's like easily distracted by their phone, then just put your phone away in your bag, put it in a different room, put it on like work focus or put it on do not disturb. Literally just try different things to completely eliminate that distraction, because that's the one that's going to get you caught up. Or, if you're someone who like puts off doing projects or like chores because you hate it, just find ways to make it more fun. Like play some music, which is not at all like a novel concept, but like play some music to like hype yourself up, have a good time, or, invite your friends to hang out, and then when they show up, make them help you. This is something that I actually picked up from my friend Eunice. She is the type of person who like always has something to do, some type of organization to do in the house, and she just puts it off. And then every time I come around, she essentially like recruits me to help her. So either I'm helping her because I'm already there and why not, or she doesn't ask for my help. She just kind of has me around to like talk to her and like make it a little more fun, because she has some kind of like company and entertainment while she does it. Once you try a few different things and you've kind of figured out what kind of environment like helps you feel good and helps you focus, then you're ready to think about like when you're most productive. So now we're going to pay attention to like what times of the day or what days of the week make it easier for us to stay focused. Personally, I can't work on Sundays. Sundays are for football. I will literally come home after church and just sit and watch the games all day. And so even when football season is over, I'm so used to doing basically nothing on Sundays that it's really hard for me to break out of that. If Mondays take a lot out of you, then don't like make plans, don't do chores, don't go outside. Just don't do anything on Mondays besides like work if you have to. And so that way when you're at home, you can literally just relax and focus on like setting yourself up. And so you can go into the next day feeling great instead of already feeling drained when it's only the beginning of the week. You can even take this tip and like be more intentional about it by starting a timer whenever you start a task. And then once you're working on it and you just feel yourself getting distracted, just allow yourself to take the break, but do pay attention to how long you were able to like stay focused and work on something before you started feeling distracted. Do that a couple times and then like use that as your guide so that you know like how long you're able to stay focused before needing a break. Now listen, there's two things here that we got to be honest with ourselves about. Number one, if the amount of time that you can stay focused at first is only like 5 to 10 minutes, don't be sitting here doing 5 minutes of work and then go chill for an hour, because I know y'all be doing that and that literally doesn't help anybody. Number two, if you are only able to focus for a short amount of time at first, try adding an extra 5 to 10 minutes every day, with the goal being to focus for an hour. And maybe an hour sounds like a long time, but I know y'all be spending more than an hour playing the game, watching Netflix, watching some like 40-part TikTok series, so it's not that crazy. Just get to an hour. That's usually my sweet spot for like days where I just don't have it in me to do more than that. So get yourself to focus just for 1 hour and give it as much as you can, because you can still get a lot done in an hour. And then go ahead and take your little break so you can decompress and feel good and get back into it and try for another hour, and just keep doing that throughout those tough days, and you will get so much done, and it's gonna get easier too. If there's one main thing that I want you guys to like really take away from this video, is that you don't have to fight against your body in order to like be productive and like get things done. If you literally just work with like your mental and like your physical capabilities, things are going to be way easier for you. So there's literally no point in like torturing yourself if something that you've been told or something you've been trying isn't working. Literally just switch it up and like try something else until you figure out what does. And while you're trying to figure out what kind of environment and what kind of process works for you, don't forget to like give yourself grace throughout this whole thing, because it is a whole process and it's not easy. You're making changes and like your mind and your body are resistant to change, especially when it comes to like doing something new that takes trial and error, because you're not having that sense of gratification when it doesn't work out at first. And it can get hard to like wake up and like keep trying different things when you don't know if it's gonna work or not and you've already been through it a couple times. So keep in mind that this is a process and there's no need to add like all this pressure on yourself, that all you're doing is trying to like find out what works best for you, because if you do add all that pressure, it just defeats the purpose and you're never gonna get anywhere. And that's really what keeps you in that endless loop of feeling like you're constantly failing or you don't know what to do, because you just can't seem to get things done. So now we've gone over some helpful tips. You gotta actually get off the app or get off the website, because I can't put in the work for you. But before you go, definitely leave me a comment, since I read and reply to you guys all the time, and definitely give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, so that way we can like check in with each other on this growth journey. As always, I'll see y'all here on my YouTube shorts and also in next week's video.